I am a big fan of Spyderco and I just had to have this 15V Paramilitary 2 lightweight. And then I started actually looking at it. Is the steel really 15V? Does the lightweight version cost you something the regular PM2 keeps? We put it edge to pivot under the microscope and took it apart. Some things passed, other things didn't, and some things even broke. So let's look at the factory edge under the microscope first. We want to see a clean apex, no burr, no folds, and no roll spots. Oftentimes it's far from clean under the microscope, like in my Big ID lookout review video. I'll link it in the end screen and the description. So here in these 4 pictures, they show the entire edge of the knives. As you can see, the apex is straight, the bevel is consistent, and there is no burr anywhere to be seen. So this looks truly good, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Does it actually cut? Let's see. Yeah, just looks very sharp, cuts, swirls. I don't feel it catching anywhere. Yeah, razor sharp, it's like a laser beam. So this is sharpened properly. Spyderco does belt sharpening, so we would expect high consistency, of course, across knives. And this is in line with my other ones. Now, the part that matters most on a sprint run video. Is the steel actually 15V? So Spyderco uses non-diamond belts to sharpen these. Vanadium carbides are harder than the abrasive in those belts, so the belt grinds the steel matrix away but leaves the carbide standing proud. Under the microscope, they show up as raised bumps along the apex. So here is the PM2 lightweight 15V. And here next to it is another 15V knife I have. It is the native 515V. The carbide density and size of the PM2 match what 15V should look like. It looks very similar to the native. And for reference, this is what a non-vanadium steel looks like. No dots. So yes, this is real high vanadium steel. We can safely assume it's 15V. So I cover this method in detail in my false steel detection video. I will put the link in the description and the end screen if you want the full story. And if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any. Before I go into the issues I have with this knife, let's talk about what's actually different from the regular PM2, because the differences are bigger than just FRN scale. So first, it is the weight. The regular PM2 is around 108 grams. This lightweight is about 76, 78. That's roughly a 30% drop. 32 grams safe, that's substantial. Second, of course, the scales, as I mentioned. The regular one has G10 scales. This one has FRN scales. With the Spyderco bidirectional texture on this one. This FRN is of course lighter and the texture grips better in wet conditions. And it's tougher to scratch than the G10. And then third, the liners. So the regular PM2 has full skeletonized stainless steel liners nested into both scales. On this lightweight, Spyderco's own marketing calls them, and I quote, minimalist liners to provide strength at critical points of the pivot area. So there are still liners, but they're smaller. I think, honestly, calling these liners is overstating it somewhat. As you can see, this is truly minimalist. Then fourth, the compression lock itself is different. The regular PM2 compression lock uses the steel liner as the lock structure, and this lightweight uses a separate lock bar that is screwed into the FRN scale. So, lighter, different materials, different lock, different liners. That all sounds reasonable, but what does it actually cost you? Look at the pivot from the top down. On the regular PM2, the pivot is supported by 2 steel liners, one on each side. So on this lightweight, there is only 1 liner. The other side is just FRN scale. And FRN obviously is less rigid, so this means it's more vulnerable to lateral loads. In normal use, you'll probably never feel it, but push it sideways under load hard enough and it will feel less stable than a regular PM2. The same goes for maximum upward and downward force load-bearing capacity. It exerts pressure on weaker materials, so this knife will sustain lower load. The compression lock bar, however, does not impact the knife at all. The lock works by compressing the bar between the tang and the stop pin. So anchoring it in FRN scale has no effect. So all of this probably means that the scales of the regular PM2 are not compatible with this lightweight. And the same goes for the stop pin. It's probably shorter than a regular one. Then the next thing I noticed is when you close the blade with a compression lock, this point, is it the Ricasso point or is it the choil point, ends up exactly where your fingers sit. So, and it hits it. So every time I close the knife, that corner hits my fingertip. It really annoys me. Now, this is not unique to the lightweight. Users have flagged the same thing on the regular Paramilitary too. The choil geometry leaves that front corner accessible through the slot in the handle. You can see it right here. So this is a PM line characteristic. It's not a lightweight specific flaw. Still, I want people to know this before they know the knife. Of course, you learn to move your finger out of the way during closing of the knife. But on my other compression lock, Spydercos, I don't have this problem. I don't have to think about it. So whether you find it annoying depends on your grip. All right, so far, less rigid. There is this pinch thing with the lock. The scales are probably not interchangeable. So these are all trade-offs you can evaluate before you buy. And then this knife actually broke. So I took the knife apart to see how it works and to shoot some pictures for this video. So the first thing I noticed, one of the stop pin screws was unusually hard to break loose. It was not stuck, but very tight, and tight enough that I paid attention to it. So when it finally came out, there was white compound on the threads. So that's thread sealant or thread blocker, something applied at the factory. In any case, it had a very strong chemical smell about it. And the other screw on the other side was almost impossible to remove. So, okay, then I wanted to put the knife together again. So it screwed in quite a bit into the stop pin, and then it stopped. It wouldn't go the last bit of the way. Of course, this resulted in significant blade play, so I just couldn't leave it like this. So I backed it out, I looked at it, I tried again, same thing. I tried it again and again and again, and the screw just would not seat. So I got tired of this and I applied more force, and then I over-torqued it. So the screw sheared inside the stop pin. I should definitely have stopped sooner. So yeah, what happened? Probably some harder part of that thread locker compound got stuck in the thread and blocked the screw. So this is, well, to me, this is a quality control issue, not a design issue. This 15V knife, it's 15V, so it can rust when wet. So being able to take it apart to clean and dry it is rather important. So whatever the compound is, it's white, which is, by the way, not typical color for normal thread locker. It didn't behave well when I tried to reassemble it. So for now, this knife is unusable. This, by the way, is my second knife. I actually bought two, and the other one is over here. So for now, this knife is unusable until I get a replacement part. So I need a new stop pin and a screw. So I've contacted the seller, which is Lamnia. They were very nice about it, and they will find a solution. So where does this leave the PM2 lightweight 15V? So the steel is excellent, and the factory edge is one of the best I've measured. So Spyderco certainly delivered there. Then this new platform has trade-offs, of course. The single liner pivot is a deliberate weight-saving choice, but it comes at a severe cost. The knife is less rigid and less sturdy. And then there's this pinch thing, of course, when closing the lock. This is a general paramilitary thing, not unique to the lightweight. And then on my sample, the factory thread compound caused a service problem, which I could not really recover from. So is it worth giving up the rigidity for lighter weight? In my opinion, no. I really don't see any situation where 30-some grams less weight would ever make a difference. But of course, everyone is different. And then here's another thing. This is a 15V knife. I've mentioned it before. It rusts when wet, so you need to be able to take it apart, to clean it and to dry it. So that's not really a minor issue. It's really a functional problem. So the thread locker on my sample made that impossible. Perhaps it was simply bad luck. Perhaps I was not being careful enough. Or perhaps it's just a quality control issue. I can't tell from one sample, of course, but it's something worth knowing before you buy. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this knife? Do you have this knife? Have you had any issues reassembling or disassembling yours? Up here, there's a lookout video I mentioned, also the video about detecting fake steel. And if you're interested, you can take a look at my favorite EDC knives that I can carry. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.